Hi, good morning. My name is Patrick Kent, and this is my 3 to 5 minute video on my key takeaways from this quarter. Forgive me for doing this in my car. My 1-year-old daughter is having kind of a rough morning, so this could be the only quiet place within a couple miles of the house. So we'll make the best of it. Overall this quarter, I felt like I developed a lot as a OD practitioner. I gained a lot of knowledge in just organizational development in general, and also how to facilitate change in an organization. I took this class in tandem with another class, leading strategic planning, and I thought there was a lot of great overlap in the content, especially early on in the quarter. So that really helped me solidify a few of these main principles that we discussed early on in the quarter, discussing them in both classes at the same time. It was a great quarter for me. I'm really excited about taking what I've learned and applying it to my current situation, as well as some of the other organizations that I'm involved in, kind of from the outside looking in. So that's great. But specifically, I would say that some of the key takeaways for me were better understanding of open systems theory, and then also developing my systems thinking. I have a tendency, or I've always had a tendency to just, think. I'm a pretty linear thinker, and I like lists. I like things neat. I like a step-by-step process. I like to be in control of the process. So, I think a lot of us do. So with that, I think, the whole idea, it showed me, systems thinking showed me, and open systems theory showed me that, showed me why I haven't had as much success in implementing change as I would like to, because systems are so, especially, with the idea of the external environment impacting it, they're chaotic. Change is chaotic. You can't really think. You can plan in a linear fashion, but you can't necessarily expect it to happen that way. So that's been huge for me in how I look at organizations, and just how I evaluate them and diagnose them. So second, I think the whole idea of evolutionary versus revolutionary change was huge for me. I always, when you think of organizational change, you kind of jump straight to the revolutionary type of change, the change that's big and complicated, and changing of the mission and values and different stuff like that. You don't think, at least I didn't think as much about the evolutionary aspect of it, the day-to-day adaptive, flexible change that's needed in order to keep a competitive advantage. So that was huge for me, in just understanding the need for evolutionary change, and how to facilitate it, how to manage it and lead it. I think that was as important, or that's maybe one of the more important things I learned in this class. Along with that, transactional leadership versus transformational leadership, and how that plays into it, was huge for me as well. Just understanding my personal bents that way, and but the role of both, and the need for both. So along with that, the strategic alignment model was huge, was important for my understanding of systems theory, or systems thinking, and also just understanding how to diagnose an organization, and identify the needs for change within the organization. So the 3 pillars and how they need to align with each other, as well as align with the mission and vision, was huge for me. Further, I think when we as we talked about, when we go to make a change in an organization, it has to happen at the individual level, or a big part of it has to happen at the individual level. So the model that really stood out to me the most was the ADKAR model. That really helped me. That was easy for me to remember. It made sense to me. The awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement, those things were that model for individual change was pretty effective in my mind. And then lastly, and maybe most importantly, the role of culture in this whole thing I always knew culture was important. I knew that we could create a competitive advantage with our culture, but I guess I didn't realize how important it was for the inevitable change that was always going to come with it. That's always going to, be a need in an organization. So, I think along those lines, becoming a learning organization, a growth culture, that kind of thing, an adaptive, flexible culture, innovative and creative, all those things are really important for preparing for future change, being effectively doing evolutionary change, but also, like I just said, preparing for revolutionary change in the future, which is going to happen, or there's going to be a need at some point. So anyways, those are my main takeaways, and I just really appreciate this class, appreciate you, Gary, and I hope that we can spend some time together in the future. So